What if I told you there was a man who stood completely alone against an entire nation? A man who questioned everything his people believed, broke their idols, and was thrown into a blazing fire. Yet the fire could not burn him. What if I told you this same man was later tested in the most painful way possible, commanded to sacrifice his own beloved son, and instead of questioning, he submitted completely to the will of Allah? This is not just a story, this is the powerful, emotional, and faith-shaking story of Prophet Ibrahim, as a man whose trust in Allah changed the course of history forever. Stay with me till the end, because this story might change the way you see faith, sacrifice, and trust in Allah. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to explore one of the most powerful and inspiring stories in Islamic history, the story of Prophet Ibrahim, as a man who is known as Khalilullah, the friend of Allah, and whose life is a complete example of faith, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in one God. From his early days of questioning idol worship, to standing alone against his people, to being thrown into a massive fire, and then facing the ultimate test of sacrificing his own son, every moment of his life carries a deep lesson for us. This is not just a story from the past, but a guide for our present and future. Watch this video till the end, because you will discover lessons about patience, courage, and trust in Allah that can truly transform your life. Prophet Ibrahim, was one of the greatest prophets of Allah, known for his strong faith, wisdom, and unwavering belief in one God. He was born in a society where people worshipped idols made of stone and wood, believing they had power. From a very young age, Ibrahim began to question these beliefs and traditions. He wondered how lifeless objects could be worthy of worship when they could not see, hear, or help anyone. His heart was always searching for the truth, and he refused to blindly follow what others believed. Unlike the people around him, he used his intelligence and reasoning to understand the reality of life. Allah had chosen him for a special mission, and his journey toward truth began early. This curiosity and desire for truth made him different from others. His story is one of courage, sacrifice, and strong faith. As Ibrahim grew older, he began observing the universe around him, trying to understand who the true creator was. One night, he looked at the stars shining brightly in the sky and wondered if they could be his Lord. However, when the stars disappeared, he realized they could not be eternal. Then he looked at the moon and thought it might be God because of its brightness. But when the moon also set, he understood that it too was not worthy of worship. Finally, he observed the sun, which was the brightest of all, and considered it as a possibility. Yet when the sun also set, he concluded that the true God must be the one who created everything and never disappears. This realization strengthened his belief in Allah. He openly rejected idol worship and began inviting others toward the truth. His message was clear and logical. Ibrahim began preaching to his people, including his own father, who was an idol maker. He spoke with respect and kindness, asking them simple questions to make them think. He explained that idols could not hear, speak, or benefit anyone. Despite his efforts, people refused to listen. They were deeply attached to their traditions and beliefs. Even his father rejected his message and became angry. This was very painful for Ibrahim but he remained patient. He continued Arabic dal, Arabic tain, Arabic wow, Arabic ta with wisdom and calmness. He did not force anyone but tried to guide them with logic. His love for truth was stronger than his fear of rejection. He stood alone against a whole society. This showed his great courage and faith. He trusted that Allah would guide him. His mission continued despite opposition. One day, Ibrahim decided to show his people the weakness of their idols in a practical way. When the people went out for a festival, he entered the place where the idols were kept. He broke all the small idols into pieces and left the biggest one untouched. He placed the axe in the hands of the largest idol. When the people returned, they were shocked and angry to see their gods destroyed. They immediately began asking who had done this terrible act. Some people suspected Ibrahim because of his beliefs. When they brought him forward, he calmly told them to ask the big idol if it had done it. This answer made them think for a moment. They realized that their idols could not speak or act, but instead of accepting the truth, they became even more angry. Their pride stopped them from understanding. The people decided to punish Ibrahim, as in the harshest way possible. They gathered a huge amount of wood and built a massive fire. The flames were so strong and intense that no one could go near them. They planned to throw Ibrahim as into the fire as a warning to others. It was a terrifying situation, but Ibrahim as remained calm and fearless. He placed his complete trust in Allah. He knew that Allah is the best protector. When the moment came, they threw him into the blazing fire. But Allah commanded the fire to become cool and safe for Ibrahim, as, instead of burning him, the fire became harmless. He came out without any injury. This was a clear miracle from Allah. The people saw this but still refused to believe. Their hearts remained closed.
After the miracle of the fire, Ibrahim, AS, realized that his people would not change easily. Their hearts were filled with arrogance and attachment to false beliefs. So he decided to leave his homeland for the sake of Allah. This was not an easy decision because it meant leaving his family, his people, and everything familiar. However, his faith was stronger than his attachment to this world. He trusted that Allah would guide him wherever he went. This migration marked a new chapter in his life. It showed his complete reliance on Allah. Ibrahim, AS, traveled to different lands, spreading the message of monotheism. He invited people to worship only Allah and leave all false gods. Along the way, he faced many hardships and challenges, but he never lost hope or became discouraged. His patience and determination made him stronger. Allah continued to guide and support him in his mission. He met different people and shared the truth with them. Some accepted his message, while others rejected it. During his journey, Ibrahim, AS, prayed to Allah for righteous offspring. He longed for a child who would continue his mission. Allah accepted his prayer and blessed him with a son, Ismail, AS. This brought great joy to Ibrahim, AS. He loved his son deeply and cared for him with kindness. Ismail, AS, grew up to be obedient and faithful. This was a great blessing from Allah. One of the most important moments in Ibrahim's life was when Allah commanded him to leave his wife Hajar, AS, and his son Ismail, AS, in the desert of Mecca. At that time, it was a barren land with no water or people. This was a very difficult test for Ibrahim, AS. But he obeyed Allah without hesitation. He trusted that Allah would take care of his family. This act showed his complete submission to Allah. Hajar, AS, showed great patience and trust in Allah. When the water ran out, she ran between the hills of Safa and Marwa searching for help. She did this 7 times in desperation. Allah rewarded her effort with a miracle. The well of Zamzam suddenly appeared, providing water for her and her child. This was a sign of Allah's mercy and care. As Ismail, AS, grew older, he became a strong and obedient young man. Ibrahim, AS, loved him dearly and spent time with him whenever he visited. Their relationship was full of love and faith. They both believed in Allah and followed his commands. This made their bond very special. They supported each other in every situation. Their story is a beautiful example of family and faith. One day, Ibrahim, AS, saw a dream in which he was sacrificing his son Ismail, AS. He understood that this was a command from Allah. This was one of the hardest tests of his life. He loved his son deeply, but his love for Allah was greater. He decided to obey the command. This showed his strong faith and trust in Allah. Ibrahim, AS, shared the dream with Ismail, AS. Instead of refusing, Ismail, AS, responded with patience and faith. He told his father to do as Allah commanded. This showed his obedience and trust in Allah. Both father and son were ready to sacrifice for Allah. It was a moment of great faith and courage. When Ibrahim, AS, was about to sacrifice his son, Allah stopped him. Allah replaced Ismail, AS, with a ram. This showed that Ibrahim, AS, had passed the test. Allah rewarded them for their faith and obedience. This event became a symbol of sacrifice in Islam. It is remembered every year during Eid al-Adha. After this test, Ibrahim, AS, was honored by Allah. He became a leader for mankind. His faith and obedience made him one of the greatest prophets. People began to respect him and follow his teachings. His story spread across many lands. Later, Allah commanded Ibrahim, AS, and Ismail, AS, to build the Kaaba. They worked together to construct this sacred house in Mecca. While building it, they prayed to Allah for acceptance. Their sincerity and devotion were clear. The Kaaba became a center of worship for Muslims. The Kaaba remains one of the most important places in Islam. Millions of Muslims visit it every year for Hajj. This shows the lasting impact of Ibrahim's mission. His legacy continues even today. It is a symbol of unity and faith. Ibrahim, AS, continued to preach the message of Allah throughout his life. He faced many difficulties but never gave up. His patience and determination were unmatched. He always trusted Allah in every situation. Allah gave Ibrahim, AS, the title of Khalilullah, which means the friend of Allah. This was a great honor. It showed how close he was to Allah. His love for Allah was pure and strong. The life of Ibrahim, AS, teaches us about sacrifice. He gave up everything for the sake of Allah. This includes his home, his comfort, and even his family. This shows the level of his faith. His story also teaches us about courage. He stood against his entire community for the truth. This required great bravery. He never feared anyone except Allah. Ibrahim, AS, showed that true faith requires action. It is not enough to believe. We must also act on our beliefs. His life is a perfect example of this principle. He trusted Allah in every situation, even when things seemed impossible. Allah always helped him. This shows that Allah supports those who are sincere. Today, millions of people follow the teachings of Ibrahim, AS. His story continues to inspire generations. His faith, patience, and sacrifice are unmatched. In the end, Prophet Ibrahim, AS, remains a symbol of faith and obedience. His life teaches us to trust Allah and follow the truth. His story is a guiding light for all believers. The story of Prophet Ibrahim, AS, teaches us that true faith is not just about words, but about actions, sacrifices, and complete trust in Allah. He left his home, his people, and even faced the test of sacrificing his own son, all for the sake of Allah. And in return, Allah honored him in a way that his legacy lives on forever. Today, millions of people follow his path, visit the Kaaba he helped build, and remember his sacrifice every year during Eid al-Adha. This shows that when you trust Allah completely, He never abandons you. No matter how difficult your situation is, always remember that Allah is the best planner. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful Islamic stories that can strengthen your faith and change your life.